Good morning from Sweden and welcome to this morning's I Ching reflection, where we are looking at the energies around us and how to best navigate them in order to have the smoothest and most joyful day forward. So today is the 8th of February 2026 and it is still a deep winter here in Sweden, very cold outside, but the snowstorms have stopped. The snowstorms we had throughout the end of December and all throughout January, it feels like. So we have beautiful winter days. I hope you are having beautiful weather wherever you are on the planet. So we are going to start by centering ourselves quickly. So root down on the seat below, unless you are walking or standing up, of course. Then you root down with your feet on the surface. And if you're walking, feel that every step is connected deeply to Mother Earth below. And if you're sitting on a chair, place your feet on the floor underneath the chair, connecting to the surface below and then the earth below that. And feeling the spine rising towards the sky into the base of the skull. And the crown point pointing towards the sky. And each breath in and out, you breathe into the stomach. And out through the nose, in through the nose, into the stomach. And then out through the nose. And you can feel the expansion of the whole stomach area, front, sides, back. And the contraction as you breathe out. And this movement travels up through the spine just as a micro movement. And with each breath, the spine is rising taller towards the sky, each breath in, and then with each breath out, you are becoming heavier and rooting more and more into Mother Earth. And as you breathe in, you're pulling the energies through from the sky, from the universe, through the crown point down, through your body into the lower dantian, which is an energy field that is about 3 fingers below the navel and 3 fingers in, 2 or 3 fingers in. This is your absolute center. And as you breathe in, you're pulling the energy from Mother Earth through the soles of your feet, up through your legs, into the lower dantian. So the energies from the heaven and the energies from the earth are meeting in your absolute center. And you can feel this energy field, which is like a little ball, expanding as you breathe in and then contracting as you breathe out. Breathe in, draw the energies into the center of you, and then breathe out. Contract the energies into a little energy ball. Okay, so let's start and see which hexagram is guiding us today, and which hexagram is actually going to do the main one first. So how are the energies around us and how do we best navigate them today in order to have the most smooth and joyful day forward? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. So we have thunder. And thunder are 2 yin line resting on a yang line. Then how are the energies around us and how do we best navigate them? in order to have a smooth and joyful day moving forward. Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, wind, wood, mountain, lake. And there we have mountain. This was the underlying energy yesterday, if I remember correctly. And that's mountain over thunder. And I think that is actually nourishing, if I remember correctly. So we got a young line at the bottom and a young line at the top, which is creating stability. And then we've got a 4 yin line in the middle, which is creating receptiveness and nourishment. So all yin lines are a gua with only 3 yin, with 3 yin lines are responding, which is the 2 of that is the primary gua of primary hexagram of responding, which is the second one, which is the earth energy, is the provider of everything good in life, which is Mother Earth. So let's have a look. And Mother Earth is very nourishing. Mother Earth provides everything we need, as long as we keep on stopping to trying to destroy her. I think the young or the male energies of this planet is trying to destroy the female energies. It seems like not all male, of course, definitely. Lots of don't get me wrong. There are lots of very good men on this planet, and lots of very good male energies as well. So this is not a hatred of men, but it seems like there's a lot of oppression towards women in the world, and also we're destroying Mother Earth, aren't we? With all our things that we want, we need. Oh yeah, we need all these fancy cars and blah blah blah. All these kind of things are just, and war and terrible things that are destroying Mother Earth, which is our nourisher. Anyway, let's have a look, which is the changing line and which is the most predominant energy, and in the process of this hexagram that we've chosen today, and that is the first 9. So the first 9 is changing into yin line. So okay, so we have more yin energy. So let's have a look. So we got again still, and we got earth below, which is kun. So let's have a look. We actually got, I didn't draw that. Okay, kun. Let's put the coins away, and then let's have a look at the approach gua and the hidden gua, the hidden or approach gua. Let's see. So we got yin, 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 yin. Yeah. And this is the one I was speaking about, which is responding. It's all yin energy responding. So the first hexagram is initiating, which is the overall theme of this month, February. We got in the reading for February. Go and have a look at that if you like. And that's initiating, which is all young line, and that's the initial spark of creation. Okay, so for us to be able to create anything, we need that initial spark, right? We need the idea, or we need like the Big Bang needed the spark, or we need that. And a car needs this initial spark to start the engine, or like with everything, right? We need this initial spark in order to start something, and that's the initiating. It's like the beginning. It's like, whew, this is it. This is the idea. And then that's being received by responding, which is all earth energy, which is the nourisher. But this is where, so in the beginning, like there was initial spark, and then beings were created, but then they needed to be nourished, been able to grow, right? And that's the earth who's providing all this shelter and food and water and all these things we need to thrive. Okay, so, and this is the underlying energy today. And then we've got, let's have a look here. Let's just before I speak too much, let's write this. So that's one of the primary gua. So primary gua is that we got the two the same, top and bottom. So let's just actually check which hexagrams there are, just to double check that I'm talking about the correct thing. So we've got again and then thunder. 52, which is the main energy, and then we've got again and kun, which is 23, I think, which is falling away. So removing all the yin, making the yangs fall away. And I think 24 is maybe returning, which has been something that we've been coming to like. So in order to be able to move into something new, we need to remove that what's old, right? This is falling away. So we're moving into yin. And then it's very yin. And winter is very yin, is very much responding. Like it's the ultimate yin. On this winter solstice, that's when we have the most yin, and now we're starting to move into more yang energies, and as soon as we hit spring, there'll be more yang. And then obviously it's different in different parts of the world as well. Like in at the equator, then there's like a lot of sun, a lot of yang energy all the time. But then, or even there, like at nighttime yin, daytime yang. So there's like this shifting and changing everywhere, right? We all got cycles. So there's all cycles all throughout. And then let's have a look. Kun and kun, which is number 2, which is responding. So let's have a look. 52. 51, 52. No, 52. No. Must have looked incorrectly. So let's start again. Gen over Zen. 27. That's what it is. Gen over Zen. 27. Sorry. It's not keeping still. So 27. Nourishing. Yes, of course. So yang yin. Nourishing, yi, and is this earth? It is earth energy. Earth. We've had a lot of earth energy lately. Yeah. Stabilizing, nourishing, preparing. We need nourishment in order to be able to move forward, okay, and stability in a good way. Otherwise, we just rush forward without any thought. So number 23 is falling away. Falling away, we are still eliminating, removing some old patterns and all ways of being. Maybe, like in my case, I'm clearing out my apartment, and I'm going into, so that's all falling away. I'm giving away and throwing away and selling all my most of my belongings in order to become a little bit more lighter over the next few years when I'm going into more of a digital nomad mode. So responding, which is an energy of actually receiving, right? And then with that, taking the seed and then nurturing it and allowing it to grow into this wonderful, wonderful new idea or creative way, or whatever it is that you're doing. Maybe you're just a little baby. You received the seed, and now you're in the gestation period and growing a little baby in your stomach. But everything comes with the initial spark, and then is moving into responding. But this is the underlying energy. But we need to respond to life, right? Not react. React is when a tiger. We need that when a tiger jumps out of a bush and wants to attack us. Then we need to react and run, right? Or if a person jumps us from a threatening person, then we need to react and run, right? Or do whatever we need to do. But otherwise we need to respond. And the difference between reacting and responding is that reacting is like, oh, here now, I need to do this, right? Quickly. But responding is more actually receiving the information and then doing something with it. And then more of a protective way of moving forward. Like reaction is more like something that is born out of how we've been taught to respond, to react in different situations, or respond in different situations. And then also to danger, but responding comes from more wisdom, I'd say, like knowledge. We take in something and then we respond to that with thoughts. So there's no anger or resentment or anything. It's like just, we might say no firmly, or the words that comes out might be very sharp, right? Because we're actually responding to a threat or something. But they don't come from the subconscious, from trauma, which we've been taught how to react in different situations. Okay, so let's have a look at this. Nourishing, okay. So this is what we're talking about. Yes, so this is the upper lip or the lower chin, and this is the mouth, and it's nourishing, is taking in nourishment. And then so we really need to be careful with what we take in. And I'd say just stay away from social media. It's so easy to be drawn into these little shorts they have now, right? And then finding yourself spending an hour watching just nonsense, really. Although there's lots of good things on social media as well. I'm not saying it's all bad, definitely not. But it's so easy to get drawn into it, and we don't end up doing the things that we need to do, okay? So, and then if we are on social media, or when we are listening to people are speaking, make sure there are wise words. Words that comes from a caring place, words that comes from, I want to help, I want to make this world a better place, I want to lead with compassion and love. Although you might say strong boundaries, go out and protest on the streets and say, this is not good, that's not what I'm talking about, but that comes from trying to make this, taking a stand for what you believe is right. But we don't want to go out up in arms and want to create trouble with weapons and hurting people, right? So we want to listen to people and content that are speaking about love, taking a stand, standing up for the weak, standing up for people who are marginalized and animals. Seriously. If we believe in human rights and to look after everyone, then we need to believe the same thing when it comes to animals. Who told us that it's okay to torture animals? Why are the human race superior in that way? If we are superior, if we know more, if we're more intelligent, then we should live with compassion and make sure that we don't harm anyone. It's a very narcissist way of being when we think that we can oppress other living beings, because who made us the boss on this planet, right? So if you believe in welfare for others and love and compassion for others, then that must include animals as well, all sentient beings, okay? And so we need to nourish ourselves with the fruit of the earth, not by death and torture. So all the plants on the planet where we can take the fruit and then eat that. And then with gratitude, of course, for the offerings that Mother Earth and all the plants are offering us, right? This beautiful nourishment, okay? When things are accumulated in great amount, nourishing becomes available. Thus, after great accumulation, nourishing follows. So we have been working very hard and accumulated lots of wisdom, lots of experiences. We've gone through quite some rocky times, but that also comes with lots of growing experience and the potential of becoming wiser, depending on how we are responding to the actions in our life, right? So we, like, troubled times gives us the potential to grow at human beings. I'm not saying that you should, troubled times are wonderful, definitely not, but it gives us the potential to grow as a person, to cultivate our qualities, our inner qualities, like wisdom and compassion, and how we respond to things, subduing transmuting the anger and frustration we might feel into acceptance. And then when we're not angry and frustrated, we can think clearer, and then we can move forward in a much more efficient way and actually deal with the problem ahead in a much more efficient way, because we're seeing clearly. And then from here, then we're moving into nourishing. So this is about a mouth, okay? So let's have a look at the decision. Nourishing, being steadfast and upright, good fortune. Watch your nourishment. Pay attention to what is in your mouth. Yeah. Make sure you're only taking things that are good. And that's for your physical well-being, that's for your mental well-being, and that's for your spiritual well-being. Choose selectively. Discernment. I keep on saying this. It keeps on coming up, and I think it will keep on coming up because we need to use discernment in which way we are taking constantly. And it's not like we come to a point in our life and I go, oh, I'm now come to the point where I've been, I don't have to look at myself and my own behaviors and be really awake about what I'm choosing, which path I'm taking. No, this is lifelong. We have to continue doing this throughout our life and make sure that we do not turn into what we once fought or tried to remove, right? It's so easy to go down that slippery slope and start to think that we are all fantastic, right? Which we are in a sense, but we're not like better than anyone else. We are all the same. Okay. Nourishing, steadfast and upright, good fortune. When nourishing is right, good fortune comes. Watching how you nourish others. It is to watch what you provide nourishment for. Paying attention to what is in your mouth. It is to pay attention to how you nourish yourself. Look at this is very important here. Watching how you nourish others. What are you providing to the world? Are you going around and slagging people off? Are you going and providing hate speech and saying, oh, those people over there, it's all their fault, right? Being, manipulated by the greater powers, like people with, some very toxic leaders, right? And then you keep on spreading this message. Oh, it's okay to, shoot them over there. That's okay because they're our enemy and they're terrible because they have a different skin color or whatever it is, right? Or because they're women, they should be oppressed or whatever. Watch how you nourish others. What is coming out of your mouth? What are your actions like, right? And what is coming out of my mouth? What are my actions like? Very important. We must start with ourselves, and we must constantly watch ourselves. Constantly seeing what are our thoughts like, because the thought is the initiation, it's the seed. So when we think dark thoughts and we have like hateful thoughts and angry thoughts, well, this is going to be the action that comes out. Although we might hide it underneath the surface, it looks like we're very, very nice and friendly on the surface, but within it's all this darkness and hatred, right? And then eventually it will actually, because the intention will start with that. So whatever action we take is going to be tainted. It is. Because the intention is somewhere to harm, right? If we have those inner thoughts. I'm not saying you will harm. I have rising anger. Oh, definitely, for the situations I've been going through, definitely. So I'm not pointing fingers at anyone. I'm pointing fingers at myself, really. I'm speaking more to myself than anyone else. In this here part, what I'm talking about here, it's like we have to transmute this anger and resentment and frustration from the situation that we are in order to move forward in a way where we can start nourish people in a loving way, right? This is very important. So it's to watch what you provide nourishment for. Yeah, it's to watch what you provide nourishment for. So watching how you nourish others is what are you giving? What are your gifts to this world? Is it love and compassion and being helpful and wanting to create something beautiful for all sentient beings? Or is it anger and resentment and hatred, right? Talking about people behind their back and all these kind of things, right? So it is to watch what you provide nourishment for. So what is it that you are nourishing here? What are you providing? What is your message? What is your outcome? What is your intention? Right? What is the actual intention? Is it to help people? Or is it to point out over there to make yourself feel better? Right? Or to because you want to fit into this group that are very hateful or whatever, right? What is the intention? It is to watch what you provide nourishment for. Paying attention to what is in your mouth. And this is food. It is also the words before they come out of your mouth, right? It is to pay attention on how you nourish yourself. So what do you take in? Because if you take in love and compassion and wisdom from people who are loving and compassionate and wise, then this is who you're going to transform yourself into, right? And this is what in the end we start believing in, okay? But also we need to be discerning, because sometimes something looks like something very often actually, something looks like something on the surface, but it's something entirely different within. Make sure you take in true compassion, having this stability that we've been talking about over the days actually. This need to see the stability within, that the center is stable and they actually and peaceful and joyful, and then that will radiate true joy without, right? But sometimes the surface might look very shiny and very fine, right? But inside there is just turbulence. So we need to see that. We need to be able, you can feel that with your intuition, definitely. When something is out of sync, right? When the inner is not the same as the outer, you can feel it. And when you feel this with the intuition, trust it, okay? Do that. Do not try to talk yourself out of it, because quite often we do, and thinking, well, yeah, but he seems so nice on the surface. Right? He seems so nice. But then you see the actions are not very nice. Right? There's somebody who's manipulative and might... you see the outcome of a person's actions, actually, when... That's what you need to look at, not the words. And not how they present themselves. Very important. And this comes with whole companies. It comes with whole situations, with everything, right? What is the outcome of the actions? What's actually happening? What is the outcome? Is it love and compassion? Well, if it is, well, then that's truth within. That's rising to the surface. But if it's just hateful and things are deteriorating around you, you can see like a project deteriorating, and it's like a constant struggle, when then the inside is not very good, right? You have like some toxicity there. So heaven and earth nourish all beings. The holy sages nourish the virtues and thus reach all. Great indeed is nourishing in its time. So heaven and earth nourish all beings. Yep. Here, we were born from this universe. We wouldn't exist here if the heaven and earth didn't nourish us, right? It wasn't human beings who brought human beings up. Sometimes we get stuck in that, like, oh, we're so great, right? But actually, all we need to survive, to live, is heaven and earth. Like, we need very little. All these kind of things that we need, we think we need, I need those fancy clothes, or I need all these, I need to look like this, and I need to. No, we don't at all. You are here because you are part of this universe, and you are just as magical as the rest of the universe. You really are. The essence of you is the universe, like the inner. So a micro-universe is the same as the macro-universe. Everything that's around you is what's inside you. So you have the universe. You are this beautiful universe, right? You better believe it. And the universe, the truth of the universe is to nourish. Like, look at this planet we're on, providing all these crops and the plants and the fruit and everything for us to be able to eat and nourish ourselves. right? And become. Like we were single cell organism once upon a time, but then they grouped together and then created all types of beings on this planet, which is containing our consciousness, which is the universe, okay? Great indeed is nourishing in its time. Yes, it is definitely, if you make sure your nourishment is true nourishment, not just some terrible fast food. And I'm talking spiritually and mentally here. Thunder beneath mountain, an image of nourishing. In correspondence with this, the superior person is careful of his words. Yes, what are you speaking? What are you saying? What's coming out of your mouth? And moderate in eating and drinking. Okay, so maybe it's time for a bit of a fasting period here as well. So let's have a look at this. Filling with food, warming with clothes, living leisurely without learning, it is little short of animals. So in order to grow, like this is what most people are doing. We eat and we put clothes on, looking good, right? Important with fashion and living leisurely without learning. Like we just want to have pleasure. We're expecting everything to just be easy, and all we want to do is just, not have any troubles, and then not actually learning from. We're just moving forward with very little thought, and then it is little short of animals. It means that we have no potential of growing as beings, growing into these wise, compassionate beings that this planet so desperately need, right? So who are you? Is this it? Are you just moving around and not actually learning anything from your experiences? Are you not learning things, working on your wisdom? So this is what we need to think about, right? There's more, this eating and keeping ourselves warm on this planet. And then that's only for us to be able to live here and experience this in order for us to grow in wisdom and compassion, to cultivate our virtues, that's it. Because this body is we need to eat and in order to be on this planet. But the intention, or the real intention, I believe, you got to look at how you look at it as well. But for me, from my point of view, is to be here in order to cultivate our virtues and then to grow as beings and starting to see things more clearly, getting out of the illusions of this planet, not this planet, sorry, of what we call reality. Is really true, right? And going deeper and deeper and see more clearly exactly what's going on, okay? Here it's actually very important. The ancient sages proclaimed that nourishing and nurturing were not a matter reserved for the family, but concerned society as a whole. Nourishing and nurturing a family was selfish. Nourishing and nurturing a society was selfless. Right? So we need to, yes, of course, we need to look after ourselves first, and then our family, because if we are weak, we cannot look after anyone else. So we look after our family and then our whole community. This needs to spread, right? Nourish ourselves with love and compassion and great wisdom. Okay, so let's have a look at the changing line. It's initial 9. Putting aside your spiritual tortoise, staring at me with mouth drooling, misfortune. Staring at me with drooling mouth, it is not a noble manner. So this seems like exactly what we're talking about here. It's just when we're just thinking about the material things, so like the most obvious things that you wouldn't need to eat or look good or all this, they're really surface level, right? Not eating is not surface level, but it's like, if we're stuffing ourselves with lots of garbage food, right, just to bring some sort of pleasure in the moment, well, that's not very good, because we're actually harming our body in the long run, right? The solid line at the bottom represents a person of resolute character, corresponding to the yellow line at the 4th place. So the kind of yang corresponding with yin. Okay, so that's good. A tortoise is an animal able to survive without eating and drinking for a long period of time. In ancient China, the tortoise was regarded as a spiritual animal because of its longevity. The Yao text, putting aside your spiritual tortoise, staring at me with mouth drooling, denotes that one at this place puts his spirituality aside and watches the person high above him eating. A mouth drooling suggests greed. There is a Chinese adage that says mouth drooling with greed. It is not a noble manner. The solid line at the bottom is firm and strong. He ought to rely on himself in seeking nourishment for his physical body as well as his spiritual nature. Yet he puts aside his own resources and seeks profit from other people's toil. This behavior ends in misfortune. Yeah, I think that says everything. It's like we look at others and trying to take from there what they're doing, right? Oh, look at him. He's got all these beautiful cars, or oh, I want that, in there drooling like with greed. And then so we're trying to do that, and when we do, I want this, when we're just thinking about that, then we might just almost step over corpse to get to that point and not actually seeing the truth, right? And seeing what the harm that we're doing to other people, because all we're thinking about is, I want that, right? And it's really, it's all these things that we don't need. Like, it's just surface layer. And then we look at all these billionaires, we look at all their yachts, and look at how they live, and it's just, there's no depth in that. I'm not saying that billionaires might not have depth. That's not what I'm saying. I'm sure there's plenty of billionaires who's got lots of depth in within them. But like, if you look at like when you just look at the shiny bit and what they're doing, and right, billionaires who are just out there just showing, look at me, haha, right? That's just surface layer. It has no true value. Okay? True value comes from love and compassion. Yeah, and looking after each other. So there we go. Let's move. So we're moving into falling away, which is 23. And this is what we need to, falling away, right? So we need to remove that, the greed and the believing that if we get all these things, we're going to be happy. And then we're just, rushing forward without anyone else in mind, right? Just trying to get like more fancy clothes or more, these kind of things, right? And just forget things. I'm just using these as examples, of course, but just our greed, right? I want this is going to make me happy, and I want more of it, and I want more of it, I want more of it. And then we end up just harming other people and animals around us. Like, fur coat was very expensive, yeah, but there was some animals who actually wore that fur before you. That's suffering. Or a leather jacket or something, right? What are we doing? Discernment. Look clearly. Your actions. What do they do? What consequences do your actions? What consequences do my actions have? Like, very important, because it's so easy to just float through life and not actually seeing clearly, because we're being trained not to see clearly. So here we go. Falling away, unfavourable, to have somewhere to go. Okay. Falling away is decaying. The yielding want to change to firm. Unfavourable, to have somewhere to go. Little fellows are growing and extending. Act in accordance with the situation and keep still. So we're not moving forward right now. We're just nourishing. We're actually looking at ourselves and nourishing our spirituality and our wisdom. This is what we need to do. We're not going anywhere. We're not taking any action. We just got to make sure that before we take any action, we need to make sure that the intention is correct, right? This is to help everyone, all sentient beings, not just help myself get some more stuff, right? Act in accordance with the situation and keep still, contemplating the image. And what actually pops into mind right now is like with the Epstein files. That's like really, those are like powerful men who just don't care about all the young girls that they harmed, the children, the young women that they harmed so much, because all they wanted, it was there, they wanted, their thing that they needed and wanted, it's just no consideration about the people that they were harming, the children they were harming, the young women they were harming. It's terrible. That is exactly the kind of baby we do not want. That's just greed. It's all thinking about myself, right? And in order to be able to fight that, we need to start with ourselves. So where am I? I'm not saying you're doing those terrible things. That's like the extreme of it. But where is our intention coming from? Is it from love and compassion? Or am I just angry now and I just want to lash out and I just want to go, look at that person, right? Are we seeing clearly, right? The superior person comprehends the alteration of increase and decrease. Also the alteration of fullness and emptiness. It is the Tao heaven. Yeah, and we go through periods in our life. Sometimes we have, it's easy, and other times it's more difficult, okay? And then obviously some people have a much more difficult, the poor, they might not have access to like healthcare, and maybe they're in an abusive relationship in some sort of a family or a partner, or even abuse at work or whatever. Like obviously that's much more difficult. You need to get yourself out of that if you are in that situation. And then the nourishment there, I think, is getting help. Going to people who knows how to help you. Like there are organizations to help with this kind of thing, right? So reach out and try to get help as well as you try to help yourself. It's always a good time to shift your mind, which can be very difficult, I know. Very difficult, especially when you're going through difficult times. So, hang on, let's see. Commentary on the symbol. Mountain erodes close to earth, an image of decaying and falling away. In correspondence with this, that which is above becomes benevolent to those below, as if building houses on solid foundations. Yeah. Yeah, we need to include everyone. We need to start with ourselves, cultivate our virtues, and then start sharing that with the world. And stop being fearful and stop doubting ourselves. Well, maybe I'm not good enough and all these kind of things. So it's just stopping you from sharing your love and your compassion and your knowledge to the world. So, but right now we are nourishing. And also, if you look at the underlying energy here, the hidden, the approaching is the responding. It's also about just right now we are taking in nourishment. So make sure it's good nourishment. Anyway, so that's the contemplation, for today. I hope it was of benefit, and I am wishing you a beautiful day ahead.